What if the coffee sitting on your kitchen counter right now could be quietly shaping the future of your blood sugar, either for better or for worse? What if the simple act of how and when you sip that cup is silently deciding whether you walk toward diabetes or away from it? Before you reach for that next mug, there is something critical you deserve to know, something most people over 50 have never been told, and it has absolutely nothing to do with expensive supplements, trendy diets, or any product I am trying to sell you. I am talking about ordinary coffee, the same drink you probably brewed this morning, and a handful of small details that science says can completely transform what happens inside your body after you drink it. Hello, I am Dr. Katherine, and for more than 2 decades I have worked closely with men and women over the age of 60, watching them struggle with blood sugar issues, prediabetes, and full type 2 diabetes. What I am about to share with you today is not theory from a textbook. It is the result of seeing real patients, hundreds of them, change the direction of their health with one adjustment that costs absolutely nothing. And by the time you finish watching this video, you will understand why your grandmother was probably doing something right when she drank her coffee a certain way, and why modern habits have quietly sabotaged a drink that was once one of our greatest metabolic allies. Let me paint you a picture of what is happening around us. Across the world, diabetes is no longer a rare condition whispered about in hospital corridors. It has become an epidemic that doctors like me battle every single day in our offices. In the United States alone, more than 37 million adults are living with diabetes, and another 96 million, nearly 1 in every 3 adults, are walking around with prediabetes, and most of them have no idea. Among seniors over 65, the numbers climb even higher, affecting roughly 1 in every 4. And what keeps me up at night is not only the people who already have a diagnosis. It is the enormous group of men and women teetering right on the edge, the ones who feel unusually drained after lunch, who wake up thirsty in the middle of the night, who notice their vision blurring for a few minutes at a time, who chalk it up to aging when in reality their body is screaming for attention. Please stay with me until the very end, because what I am about to teach you could be the small turning point you did not know you were waiting for. To understand why coffee matters so much, you first need to picture what is happening inside your body every time you eat. Imagine your pancreas as a quiet little workshop tucked behind your stomach. Its most important job is producing insulin, a hormone that acts like a key unlocking the doors of your cells so that glucose, the sugar from your food, can step inside and fuel your muscles, your brain, and your organs. When the system works smoothly, it is almost poetic. You eat, sugar enters your bloodstream, insulin arrives, doors open, energy flows. But when that workshop gets overwhelmed, decade after decade, by sugary breakfasts, refined carbohydrates, soft drinks, and highly processed foods, something begins to break down. The cells, exhausted from constant glucose flooding, start ignoring insulin's knock. The pancreas panics and produces even more. Eventually, the whole system grinds down. And this is the doorway into type 2 diabetes, a condition we call insulin resistance. Now here is where coffee enters the stage in a way most people never learn about. Coffee is not simply a caffeinated drink to jolt you awake in the morning. From a biochemical perspective, it is one of the most complex beverages humans consume, containing more than 1,000 bioactive compounds. But 2 of them deserve a standing ovation when it comes to blood sugar. The first is chlorogenic acid, and the second is trigonelline. Picture these 2 compounds as wise traffic officers stationed at the entrance of your intestines. When you drink coffee before or around a meal, these officers slow down the pace at which sugar rushes into your bloodstream. Instead of a chaotic flood that overwhelms your pancreas, you get a calm, manageable stream. The workshop inside you can handle it without straining, without burning out, without pushing you closer to disease. Large-scale research has confirmed this beautifully. A massive analysis that pooled data from more than 1 million participants across several continents found that regular coffee drinkers had a significantly lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to non-drinkers. And the relationship was dose-dependent, meaning the more cups consumed within a reasonable daily range, the stronger the protective effect appeared to be. Another respected review, this one examining nearly 30 separate studies, concluded that both regular and decaffeinated coffee were linked to roughly a 30% reduction in diabetes risk. Think about that for a moment. A 30% lower risk of a disease that can destroy kidneys, blind people, amputate limbs, and shorten lifespans, all connected to a drink you already enjoy. But here is the twist that almost nobody talks about, and it is the reason I made this video today. These incredible benefits depend almost entirely on how, when, and with what you drink your coffee. The wrong coffee, consumed the wrong way at the wrong time, can actually work against you and push your blood sugar higher rather than lower. Let me tell you about one of my patients so you understand exactly what I mean. His name was Harold, a 73-year-old retired postal worker from a small town in the countryside. Harold came into my clinic with tired eyes and a proud smile, insisting he had always taken care of himself. He had been drinking coffee for over 50 years and considered it almost a badge of honor. But his lab results told a different story. His fasting glucose was sitting at 142, his A1C had climbed to 7.2, and his energy had been slipping for months. When I asked him to walk me through his daily coffee ritual, the entire problem revealed itself in minutes. Every morning, before drinking a single sip of water or eating anything at all, Harold would pour himself a large mug of strong black coffee and drink it on a completely empty stomach. Around 3 in the afternoon, he would enjoy a second cup paired with 2 sugary cookies. And just before bed, he would sip one final cup because he believed it soothed him. 3 habits, 3 mistakes, and together they were quietly fueling his condition. Let me break down these mistakes one by one, because I guarantee you or someone you love is making at least one of them right now. The first and most damaging habit is drinking coffee on a completely empty stomach the moment you wake up. Here is what most people do not realize. While you sleep, your body's cortisol levels rise naturally. Cortisol is a stress hormone, the same chemical released when you are startled or anxious. And one of its main jobs in the morning is to tell your liver to release stored glucose into your bloodstream so you have the energy to get out of bed and start your day. This is a beautiful survival mechanism inherited from our ancestors. The problem begins when caffeine arrives on top of this already elevated cortisol. Caffeine further stimulates the adrenal glands, pushing out more adrenaline, and the liver responds by dumping even more glucose into the blood. And remember, you have not eaten anything yet. The result is a morning blood sugar spike of 20 to 40 points, sometimes higher, happening silently while you believe you are doing something healthy. The second mistake is adding sugar, artificial sweeteners, or sweetened creamers to your coffee. A single teaspoon of sugar causes an immediate glucose surge that completely cancels out the protective effect of chlorogenic acid. It is like starting a small healing fire and then pouring gasoline directly onto it. Many people believe they have outsmarted this problem by switching to artificial sweeteners, but emerging research has shown that compounds like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin may actually disrupt the balance of gut bacteria, the tiny microbial army living in your intestines that plays a massive role in metabolic health. In one recent analysis of large population cohorts, coffee consumed without any sweetener was linked to about a 10% reduction in diabetes risk for every additional daily cup. But when sugar was added, that protective benefit shrank dramatically. The takeaway is simple and powerful. Remove the sweetness and the protection returns. The third mistake is drinking coffee too late in the day, especially in the late afternoon or evening. Caffeine has a half-life of around 5 to 6 hours, which means half of what you drink at 4 in the afternoon is still circulating in your bloodstream at 10 at night. This keeps cortisol artificially elevated, interferes with the quality of your deep sleep, and here is the part most people miss. Deep sleep is precisely when your body performs critical glucose regulation. Poor sleep equals poor blood sugar control the next day, which leads to more fatigue, more cravings, more coffee, and the cycle tightens its grip. When I sat down with Harold and we rebuilt his coffee routine from scratch, something remarkable happened. Within 8 weeks, his fasting glucose dropped from 142 down to 109. His A1C fell from 7.2 to 6.5. We changed no medications. We added no miracle supplements. We simply fixed how he drank his coffee. His story is not an exception. I have watched this exact transformation happen again and again in patients who were willing to try. Now let me show you exactly how to drink coffee so that it works powerfully in your favor. There are 3 perfect windows throughout the day where coffee becomes your metabolic ally rather than your enemy. The first window is breakfast, but not the second you open your eyes. When you wake up, begin with a tall glass of plain water to rehydrate your body after the long night. Wait somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes. Then eat something containing protein before your coffee arrives. This could be 2 scrambled eggs, a slice of cheese, a bowl of plain unsweetened yogurt, a handful of nuts, or leftover chicken. Only after you have protein in your stomach should you enjoy your coffee, and always drink it plain, with no sugar or sweeteners. The protein acts as a buffer, calming the cortisol response and supplying your liver with amino acids it needs to function properly, which prevents that unwanted blood sugar spike. If you want to supercharge this morning cup even further, stir in a small half-teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Cinnamon contains compounds that gently mimic some of the actions of insulin, helping cells absorb glucose more efficiently. It is not medicine, but it is a quiet, reliable friend. The second perfect window is right before lunch, and this is a strategy almost nobody has ever heard of. About 20 to 30 minutes before your main midday meal, drink a small cup of plain black coffee. No food, no sugar, just coffee. The chlorogenic acid and trigonelline inside it will quietly prepare your digestive system by slowing down how quickly sugar from your upcoming meal enters your bloodstream. This dramatically reduces the post-meal glucose spike, and those post-meal spikes, repeated thousands of times over years, are one of the biggest drivers of insulin resistance. Think of this pre-lunch coffee as sending a wise foreman into the factory before the shipment arrives, making sure everything is ready and nothing overwhelms the system. The third perfect window is right after physical activity. If you walk, garden, swim, cycle, or do any kind of movement, a cup of plain coffee within 30 minutes of finishing your exercise can dramatically enhance your body's ability to pull glucose out of the bloodstream. When your muscles have just been used, they are like dry sponges, desperate to absorb glucose, and they can do so even without needing much insulin at all. Caffeine at this moment amplifies the effect, creating what I like to call a golden metabolic window, one that most people completely miss. Let me share another story with you, because I want you to see that this is not about one person getting lucky. I once treated a 69-year-old retired schoolteacher named Margaret. She had been managing type 2 diabetes for 4 years with medication, and despite doing many things right, her A1C remained stubbornly above 7.6. When we examined her daily habits, I discovered she drank sweet milky coffee every morning, coffee with cookies every afternoon, and had stopped walking because her legs felt heavy and tired. Together, we crafted a simple plan. Wait 45 minutes after waking, eat a boiled egg, then have plain coffee with cinnamon. Drink a small black coffee 20 minutes before lunch. Take a gentle 25-minute walk 3 times a week and enjoy another plain coffee immediately after. Eliminate the afternoon cookies entirely. 6 weeks later, Margaret returned with tears in her eyes. Her A1C had dropped from 7.6 to 6.7, her fasting glucose was 108, and for the first time in years, she said she woke up feeling alive. I never changed her medication. We changed her relationship with coffee. Now I need to warn you about the silent saboteurs that destroy all the benefits I have just described. Coffee has invisible enemies you may be inviting into your cup every single day without realizing. The first enemy is sugar in any form, whether refined white sugar, brown sugar, honey, agave, or syrups. Anything sweet added to coffee creates an immediate glucose spike that overpowers the protective chlorogenic acid. The second enemy is artificial sweeteners, which research increasingly suggests may damage gut microbiota balance over time. If you absolutely must sweeten, natural stevia or a very small amount of pure monk fruit extract appear to be gentler options. The third enemy is instant packaged coffee, the kind that comes in flavored sachets loaded with hidden sugar, hydrogenated oils, and artificial additives. Whenever possible, brew real ground coffee, ideally 100% Arabica, freshly prepared. The fourth enemy is pairing coffee with ultra-processed foods like pastries, white bread, filled cookies, or commercial cakes. When you combine coffee with these refined carbohydrates, the resulting glucose surge is so steep that no amount of chlorogenic acid can rescue you. Everything I have described today becomes even more powerful when combined into what I call the protection triad. The first leg is smart coffee, enjoyed the way I have taught you, at the right times, without sweeteners, capturing the full power of chlorogenic acid. The second leg is gentle, consistent movement. You do not need a gym membership. 30 minutes of easy walking, 4 or 5 days a week, dramatically improves insulin sensitivity. Active muscles pull glucose out of the blood even without insulin, which is one of the most beautiful gifts your body gives you for free. The third leg is adequate protein in every main meal, because after the age of 60, your body becomes less efficient at using and storing protein. Eggs, fish, chicken, beans, plain yogurt, cheese, lentils, and lean meats stabilize blood sugar, preserve muscle, and keep you feeling full far longer than carbohydrates ever could. Before I let you go, I must be honest with you about one important thing. Everything I have shared today is built on solid scientific evidence, but none of it replaces medical evaluation and the advice of your personal doctor. If you are already taking medication for diabetes, please do not adjust or stop anything on your own. Bring this information into your next appointment, share it with your physician, and let them guide you through any changes safely and responsibly. Now let me ask you something from the heart. Do you have a parent, a spouse, a sibling, or a dear friend who is quietly struggling with high blood sugar or already living with diabetes? Please share this video with them today, because sometimes the most powerful gift we can give the people we love is quality information grounded in science. I want to leave you with one final thought I have carried through my entire career. Your body is not your enemy. Your body is constantly whispering, constantly trying to heal, constantly attempting to restore balance. When your glucose climbs, when fatigue lingers, when your legs feel heavier than they should, these are not random failures. They are signals, gentle cries from a body asking for attention. And often, what your body needs is not another pill, but a small shift, like the timing of a single cup of coffee. Health does not live inside a pharmacy. Health lives inside the small daily choices you make every morning, every afternoon, every evening. In my next video, I will reveal 5 common foods that people with prediabetes absolutely need to remove from their diet as soon as possible, because these foods silently inflame the body and spike blood sugar in ways most people never suspect. Make sure to turn on your notifications so you do not miss it. If this video helped you today, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, leave me a comment telling me where you are watching from, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. I am Dr. Katherine, and it has been an honor spending this time with you. Take gentle care of yourself. Take beautiful care of the people you love. And remember, your future self is being built right now by the small choices you make today. Make them count. I will see you in the next video.